All right, we are back after a week off with the Apex Energy Truck Series. This week we are going to be at Watkins Glen, as you can see. I am Tony Hilbrands. I'm here tonight with Ryan O'Hara.
The sun is shining brightly here in the picturesque Finger Lakes region of central New York in the tiny but historical village of Watkins Glen. Once a year, the peace and tranquility here is shattered by the thunder of race engines. The Apex Energy Truck Series welcomes you to Watkins Glen International for the Sim Racing Tech Grand Prix of Watkins Glen. As Tony Hilbrand said, I'm Ryan O'Hara. It's our first road course of the season. Tell us more, Tony.
Well, this is as you said, this is the first road course of the season. They got 11 turns here tonight at Watkins Glen. The track opened in 1956, and it is a 2.45 mile length course because this is the short version that NASCAR always uses. They are not running the boot tonight. It will be 40 laps. There are 3 sets of tires, 2 of which are in the pits, and the fuel window will be around 19 to 21 laps, so it should be a one-stop race for most of the field tonight.
And Tony, another interesting fact, Watkins Glen was also a home to Formula One racing. Tell us more about the history behind this facility.
Yeah, as you said, yes, Formula One was a big deal here. This track actually was part of a street course originally. I don't remember exactly how long it was that way before they built this. This was the stop for the American Grand Prix for a long time before. Did they take a few years off from coming to America? I can't remember.
I think they did at one point.
Yeah, which then they went to Indy for a while. I know that, and they also now they run at Coda. So this track has a long history with a lot of different series that have graced the surface here.
Gotta say, I think I prefer Watkins Glen over Coda, but you know what? I'm a traditionalist.
I don't know. I kind of like Coda personally because I like the arena aspect of it. I do like driving around the trees and everything here too, but I don't know. I kind of prefer Coda a little more, but I also like technical tracks a little better. But tonight these guys are going to be going through the high speeds of Watkins Glen, like up through the S's here. As you can see, the 18 have a little bit of trouble here in practice, but tonight should be a good night. The times are really close out here. Through the top 8. As the practice is over, we will hit up the national anthem at the start of qualifying, and we will catch you back before qualifying is over and go over a little bit more before the race here.
And welcome back to Watkins Glen International. We are here for the Sim Racing Tech Grand Prix of Watkins Glen. I'm Ryan O'Hara once again with Tony Hilbrand. And Tony, we're getting ready for qualifying. I've heard that Nick DeCesare hasn't been much a factor this season, but I was told prior to jumping on the mic with the Apex Energy Truck Series that DeCesare is quite the road course ringer.
I'm gonna have to take your word for it because I don't remember racing with him before on a road course. So he seems to be blinking right now. So unfortunately, under qualifying, we might not have the. But we are riding along with him, so I'll definitely look out for him tonight. I know that the 10 truck of Kolsaketi was the fastest in practice, and then you've also always got people like Josh Ward and Scott Sobzak to look out for. So we'll see if there's anybody else that's a dark horse, kind of like Nick out here tonight to maybe get their first win of the season. It looks like
Absolutely.
Chase Berry is on the pole as we speak.
So far on the board, Chase Berry is currently in the pole position, followed by Evan Pienza, Scott Sopsack, and just kidding, Cole Sacchetti is now in second spot with a time of 1 minute 13.88. So Cole Sacchetti, he was the leader in practice, and Tim Tokarski may have had some trouble during his qualifying lap.
Jesseroy goes up to 6th on the board on his first lap. Is there anything you're going to be looking out for tonight? You think it'll be a pretty clean race, or what are you expecting out here?
I think it's going to be very interesting. I think I've seen races here where people get a little bit too aggressive going into turn one, trying to trying to establish their car or truck. And I've seen other races where it's actually single file and people pick and choose, when to pass and when to get aggressive. I'm looking forward to a competitive race. I think there might be a few cautions. I think we'll see a couple wrecks, but I'm expecting a clean race. How about you?
I'm thinking we're gonna actually have quite a decent battle up front, at least for a while. Luckily for everybody in the field, Aaron Smith is not in this series, so they don't have to worry about being a minute behind the leader by lap 3. So that's always a good thing. But like I said, Cole Sacchetti been pretty quick, but by a few tenths in practice. But he is only second on the board in qualifying. And then we had about 7 to 8 trucks that were like all over each other on the speed chart in practice. So I'm hoping the top 5, top 10 can put up a good battle all night tonight for us.
Absolutely. So while we have time, let's take a look. Once this field cycles out here, Chase Berry continues to lead. It looks like he will be on the pole in about 4-ish minutes. If this keeps up, Cole Sacchetti is currently second. Evan Pianta third. Josh Ward fourth. Johnny Rapp, our points leader, is in fifth. Chris Smith is sixth. Scott Sobzak is seventh. Nick DeCesare is eighth. Matt Kuntz is ninth. And Brett Tucker is 10th. And Ryan Jones just completed his lap, 11th quickest on the board. That bumps the 8 of Ellis Thomas to 12th.
It looks like we have 16 people who have taken a lap so far, and there is about 3 more that are on track currently. The 83 of Cordell Lofgren is finishing up his first lap, I believe. And he goes to 15th on the board as he spins going into turn 1, so that'll be his only lap that's going to count.
Rut row.
We do still have Tarun Motokurdi and Jeff Pogo on track, though. They have not put a time in yet.
Actually, Jeff Pogo just came in. Looks like 7th on the board. He was 20th on the grid. Now he is 7th. 1 minute, 14.65.
And the 18 spins out, coming to the line on his. And he took some damage, so I don't know if he's going to get a time in. So it looks like we're going to have 18 people. Oh, he is coming back out, so maybe he can get a lap in. But so far there are 18 people on the board, and I think we have 27 people showing up tonight.
Well, let's see. Not counting myself and Scott. Is Scott Tompkins in race control?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it said he made a lap in practice, so maybe he was practicing before getting into the booth, but it says we have 30 people here. No, I'm not included to make 29. So I'm saying about 28 trucks here.
It's a pretty decent sized field. And yes,
Patrick O'Toole completes his lap. Unfortunately, it is about 7 seconds off the truck in front of him. So that is not good. But maybe he can put another good lap. Not a good lap, 'cause the first one wasn't good. But maybe he can put a better lap together before we hit the green flag.
And Jeff Pogo just finished his second lap, and he did not run faster. And yes, as chat says, Sacchetti is fast tonight, but Chase Berry has been faster in qualifying. And it looks like the 18 is not going to get his time in at all. So we have 18 people on the board.
And what were you saying about that other driver that was running like a minute behind?
No,
He decided to drop out.
Aaron Smith, who is in the Cup Series, is someone that nobody beats on road courses. So I said that they were lucky tonight that they didn't have to race him, because last night at Red Bull Ring in the Cup Series, he lapped up to 7th place in the field.
That's insane.
Yep.
Maybe I would have given him a run for his money. Maybe not. I don't know. But hey, that's why I'm in the booth for this series, guys. But to our Twitch fans, thank you so much for joining us. I know a lot of you have loved ones that are in this series, and others just enjoy racing. We really appreciate it. And we're still in the month of March, so we do have a giveaway. If you subscribe to our channel, we are giving away a hat this month. If I'm correct on that, I'm not too good at these promotions, but I believe it's a hat.
I haven't heard anything different from Ellis yet about that, so that's what I believe.
That's good. So you guys have a chance to win a hat.
Looks like Brady Powers is finally coming out, but I don't think he has time to get a lap in.
Oh man, he's a little bit late because he's got a minute to.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna
do a lap on a road course. That's whew. Let's see if he puts down the afterburner.
He might. I don't know if he just joined not too long ago. He might just be trying to get a little bit of practice in before the race. Oh, Tarun Motorcody did get a lap in. He jumped up to 8th, pushing Patrick O'Toole down to 18th, pushing Patrick O'Toole down to 19th. We got 19 people qualifying.
And Tarun Motorcody has had a rough season so far. A lot of incidents. Not all of them due to his making, but we'll see how he does on this 2.5 mile track.
And Trevor Trago is on track. I don't think he has started a lap though. I think he is also just getting a little bit more practice in before the race here. We'll see if he does put a time down when he gets to the line. He will get to the line before time runs out. So we'll see if he has started his lap or not.
For the record, Watkins Glen in the full circuit is over 3 miles. This one is 2.454, nearly 2.5. So we were close. 2.454 if you want to get really specific. But qualifying is over. And ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at our starting lineup. Chase Berry is your pole sitter. Cole Sacchetti both start second. Evan Pienta third. Josh Ward fourth. Johnny Rapp, our points leader, is in fifth. And rounding out the top 10, Chris Smith, Jeff Pogo, Scott Sopsek, Nick DeCesare, and Matt Kuntz. Go, Tony.
Starting 11th is Rye Jones in the 91. The 99 Brett Tucker will be 12th. 13th is Ellis Thomas. Jay Heischfeld in 14th. 15th will be Nathan Rogie. Cordell Lothran will be starting in 16th. 17th will be Shane Bradshaw. Oh, 1 second here. 18th is Tarun Motorcurdy. 19th will be Patrick O'Toole. Larry Poling will be starting 20th. 21st will be Patrick Colby. Zachary Dawson 22nd. Then Brady Powers, Tim Tokarski, Paul Thomas, George Fetzko, Trevor Trago, and Patrick Daubenberger will round out the field here tonight.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Really excited for this race, guys. 40 laps here at Watkins Glen. What beautiful scenery here at the Glen. Have you ever been to the Gorge, Tony?
No, I have not.
Glen Gorge has over 19 waterfalls, and there's one place, I believe it's called the Parent House, something like that. I've never actually been to that part of the gorge, but it plunges 215 feet. It's quite the majestic area if you're looking to have any sort of therapy from life. That's one of the best places to go to, as long as it's not the winter and you're freezing your tail off. But it's definitely good for a summer vacation, listening to all the birds chirping and having their meals. It's therapeutic.
Yeah, I've never been to New York, so I've never gotten a chance to go to Watkins Glen, which is a place that I would like to go at some point to watch a race, but that's probably in quite a few years yet before I'd be able to do that.
How old are
Unfortunately,
you, Tony?
I am 30.
Well, hey, you got time, man. You got time. All right. Well, the trucks are rolling here at Watkins Glen. We're getting ready for the Sim Racing Tech Grand Prix of Watkins Glen. Once again, welcome back to all you guys watching on Twitch. Thank you again for joining us. We'll be taking your questions throughout this race. Or at least we'll try to, because sometimes we're not so good at being on the ball, but we'll do our best here in this one because we really appreciate having you guys here, and you're the reason we get paid for what we do. So thank you for everything that you do for us.
Yeah, everyone is rolling out, taking on the pace lap, getting used to being side by side through some of these corners, which I am sure a lot of them will not want to be side by side at full speed. But it is a good way to gauge your truck in distance. So we'll see what happens when they take the green here in about a minute.
And discipline is going to be key as they head into the inner loop here under the caution period. It is very difficult to try to fit multiple trucks or cars in this little space, and give and take is very important, especially early in the race here at Watkins Glen.
It's going to be that way throughout the race because if they want to do it the way that I normally do it, I want to just get into a rhythm and make sure that I can keep my rhythm the whole race. I know that if I get out of rhythm, it throws me off for quite a while until I can get back into it. And whenever I'm out of rhythm, I tend to lose a lot of time and probably a few spots. So I'm sure a lot of these guys are probably going to feel the same way, especially if they aren't really too experienced on road courses or don't like road courses. I'm sure they just want to get into their own little space and do their own thing until the race is over here.
Well, guys, we expect a wall-to-wall brawl. There will be pushing and shoving. Folks, glad to have you with us on a Wednesday evening. The Apex Energy Truck Series is green from Watkins Glen. And here they go into turn number one. Chase Berry leading the field. Oh! Evan Pienta gets into the back of Chase Berry going into turn one. And it looks like both of them are going to make it through the turn. Let's see if the rest of the field makes it.
Oh, there is a spin at the end of pit road there in turn one. It looks like the 88 of Shane Bradshaw got turned and hit the inside guardrail.
And no caution. No caution. Chase Berry will lead the field into the inner loop here on our first lap.
As everybody is on top of each other still, as it is the first lap, except for Chase Berry, who's gotten about a second lead over second place coming through the carousel here. He's doing pretty well. Evan Pienta is in second, followed by Sacchetti, points leader Johnny Rapp, and Josh Ward to finish out the top five here.
Oh, trouble! Patrick Dobbenberger is upside down, coming out of the inner loop. My goodness.
Oh, it looks like the 42 of Paul Thomas spun, and then Dobbenberger just got on the gas too early of the carousel and barrel rolled going down through the carousel, but he landed on his tires and he is up to speed. That is definitely one way to make your start here tonight. Doing
Absolutely.
a barrel roll and driving away with it from it.
Can you imagine if that was an actual car? I mean, you're trying to make it through the first lap and you already have a headache.
He's definitely going to be dizzy. I'm sure about that.
Dizzy.
We are on lap 2 of 40, as we said tonight. Pit stop, fuel window will be around 20 laps, maybe a little early, maybe a little later than that, depending on
And
what
we have a
people
battle
do.
for the lead as they come through the SS. Evan Pienta is closing in. He is blinking, though, blinking a lot as they head down the back straightaway towards the inner loop for the second time in this race.
As Chase Berry continues to lead, he's coming through the last set of quarters here. It looks like everyone's pretty single file. It doesn't look like there's too much of battling going on as everyone's spreading out a little bit. Oh, Sacchetti brushed the wall there exiting the final corner.
So Zacchetti, he's been fast throughout practice, but over the last couple races, it seems he has the tendency to get in a little bit of trouble, especially early in the race, like last week, trying to enter or 2 weeks ago. My bad, because we weren't on last week, but getting spun into pit road.
Yeah, he's definitely had speed. It's just sometimes bad luck comes into play, and he just hasn't had the chance to get the finishes out of it. But he's running third here, and
whoa! And Terran McCurdy nearly wrecked coming to the start-finish line. What a save by the 18. He's still running 19th, but that was a big moment for the 18.
And Dobbenberger is on pit road getting repairs. It looks like he was just exiting the pits.
Can't say I can blame him for that.
But Matt Kuntz just made a pass for 11th there through the carousel as a truck went wide.
Whoa, and what a save there from Evan Pienta as they came off turn 11.
Yeah, he's definitely pushing it out here tonight. He's got the leader right there.
Eddie launched it into turn 1.
Yep.
And he is right there battling with Pienta and Chase Berry for the top spot. And Johnny Rapp, he's just lurking in 4th place, just waiting for someone to make a mistake.
Well, Johnny's definitely in a good spot to extend his points lead tonight. The second place in points is Josh Ward, who is right behind him, but there's a pretty good gap between him and Rapp right now for 4th.
Johnny Rapp reminds me a lot of Matt Kenseth. He may not win, a lot, may not win a ton of races, but you can almost guarantee that he's going to be a threat, or at least he's going to be there. May not be, in the battle for the win, but he's always going to be there at the end of the race.
Most definitely. He definitely works his way throughout the field and he shows up when it counts, as you said.
Absolutely, and that's what championship drivers do.
Scott Sobczak just passed Jeff Bogle for 6th place here.
And Scott Sobczak is definitely wants to regain some of his mojo after that accident at Iowa Speedway. Dominated the race, but unfortunately was involved in an accident that was not of his making. There was a lap car that got into the back of Jeff Pogo getting into pit road, and Sobczak moved up to the outside to avoid the accident, but got clobbered into the outside wall.
Yeah, especially at a short track like that, things can happen out of nowhere really quickly, and sometimes your race ends without you realizing it. Up front, though, Chase Berry seems to have extended his lead again. He is back to just under a second ahead of Evan Pienta in 2nd place. Chase Berry has definitely been really smooth out here tonight.
Absolutely. Evan Pienta looks like Chase Berry has extended his lead here, Tony.
Yep. He's just about a second ahead of Evan Pienta right now. And Sacchetti is all over Pienta now for 2nd as they go through the final corner.
So I was kind of right. Whoa, and Sacchetti, what a save. Got loose there off turn 11, and he will maintain the 3rd spot. I was a little bit right. I expected, maybe you have a crash or two, but so far it looks like it's mostly single file and pretty clean for the most part, with the exception of Dobbenberger getting, flipped over in the 1st lap.
And we've got the top 4 all on top of each other, so it's
not
like anyone's getting away.
There's a spin. Terran McCurdy has gone around, and he's in the inside guardrail.
Let us take a quick look at that. Oh, looks like he just got loose coming out of the carousel, and he was trying to catch it. He kept it off everyone, and then, he just kind of rolled forward into the guardrail, so not too much damage there. It looks to be fine as soon as he gets it back going straight.
And he was heading down towards turn number 8 at that point, so coming off 7, he was getting pretty loose. But as we said before the broadcast, it's been a rough season for the 18 machine.
It has. And it just continues to get a little rougher as We are coming up on lap traffic for the leaders, and the 55 of Evan Pienta is definitely letting it all hang out right now in second, trying to keep that spot.
And Brady Powers is heading to pit road.
Was that Powers or was that Daubenberger?
That was Powers. Daubenberger
Okay.
right now is heading towards the inner loop.
Gotcha. They have a similar paint scheme tonight, so it wasn't...
And we have trouble. Quarter Lofgren is in trouble coming out of the carousel.
He's got it going back straight again. We'll take a quick look to see what happened there. Oh, it looks like he did the same thing.
Quite a bit on my screen, but looks like he just got loose and turned it around.
Yeah, he got a little wide there, and he might have gotten into some of the loose dirt on the track, and when he hit the gas, it spun him into the guardrail, and he hit pretty hard, so he's probably gonna be on pit road here for a little bit, as he does go down pit road.
And Brady Powers has exited pit road and is now moving through the S's, turns 3, 4, and 5, and heading towards turn 6 in the inner loop.
And Sacchetti is still all over Pienta, as Pienta keeps hanging his rear end out through the quarters here. We'll see if Sacchetti can make a pass here in the next lap or two.
And Sacchetti's pretty aggressive, Tony. How much longer do you think Sacchetti's going to be comfortable just hanging out behind Pienta if he knows he's faster?
I think he also...
Oh, trouble! Pienta gets into the outside wall, and here comes Cole Sacchetti on the inside.
And that's exactly what I was about to say. I think he just waiting. He knows that Pienta was getting loose there through the corners, and he was just probably waiting for him to make a mistake. And unfortunately, the 18 truck kind of blocked his line there through one, so Pienta ended up getting back around him. So now Sacchetti has to do this all over again.
And Pienta made a great crossover move there, but as Sacchetti was heading out of turn 1, he nearly hooked Evan Pienta. Had to check up, and now Johnny Rapp is all over him. Here comes Cole Sacchetti on the inside, and Pienta is going to let him have it.
Sacchetti almost got into the grass there in the second part of the bus stop, but he keeps it straight, and he does make the pass, and it looks like this time he'll be able to keep it. Now he has a 2.7 second gap between him and the leader to close up before the race here, but it is only lap 8, coming to lap 9 here in a few seconds, but long way to go. As long as he keeps his tires under him, I think he could maybe at least reel him in before the end of the race.
And the damaged truck of Terry Motorcurdy let all those guys by.
Yes, Chase Berry has a 2.5 second lead here through turn 1. And he does have another lap truck coming up.
Motorcurdy went really wide coming into 1, had to save the truck, and he is still under power, and he just hit the curve going through the S's, and he's out of control. That truck has seen better days. Motorcurdy currently hanging on in 26th, and by hanging on, I mean really hanging on.
It looks like he's going to let more trucks by here through the bus stop.
And I think I don't know what he was trying to do there. I think he's going to park it. I mean, it looks like he's trying to park it, or trying to find a place to park it.
Johnny Rapp is taking 3rd place from Evan Pienta.
I'm actually not sure what Motorcurdy's trying to do here. We'll see what happens.
It looks like the leaders are starting to spread out a little bit more here. It looks like Pienta's rear tires are not happy with him after how hard he was running here to start the race. We'll see if he can cool them off and get the truck back under him here before too long. As Kurt Lofgren, who was in a self-contained wreck a few laps ago, comes off the pit road.
I was just about to say that, but you nailed it. Carter Lofgren's back. And trouble! Trouble in turn 1, and that is Chris Smith, who has gone around. And it looks like going into 1, he wheel hopped. That's a classic mistake. Right,
and then he gets a little help from Scott Sobczak to finish. Yep.
Oh, and I barely caught that part of Sobczak because there was some blinking going on. But yeah, Sobczak's got some front end damage now. So it has been a topsy-turvy event so far. Not so much for the leaders. Chase Berry has dominated this entire race. but there's been a lot of tumultuous activities involving damage.
And we are about to be a quarter of the way through the race here as soon as Chase Berry crosses the line. So we still got 30 laps left to go. In about 10 laps, we should be seeing some pit stops. We'll see if anybody tries a little bit of strategy, if they pit early or pit late to try to maybe pick up some time on the leader. But I don't know how well that's going to work.
Tim Tokarski's in trouble. Tim Tokarski is slow heading towards turn 11. Let a lot of trucks go by. Let's see what happens.
I think he's just letting people by.
Okay, my mistake. At least he's courteous.
Yep. And it's still about a 2.3, 2.4 second lead Chase Berry has over Kolsaketty. It has gained a
trouble. George
bit.
Fetzko has gone around.
Yep, he's sitting in the grass at the bus stop as the leaders have come up on the bus stop. So that was great timing.
And he's got some damage to his right rear. Not sure how he got it, but number 7 truck has some damage. Now our leader Chase Berry is approaching the lap truck of Paul Thomas in the number 42.
And as I was saying, it looks like Kolsaketty is reeling in Chase Berry ever so slowly, about like a quarter of a tenth per lap or so.
But is he risking burning up his tires before the end of this run?
Possibly, but Chase could also be backing his pace down a little bit because he has such a big lead. We don't quite know for sure. We'll have to see how it plays out here in the next few laps as we get closer to the pit stops. But yeah, it's right at 2 seconds now. But Saketty has to still get around Paul Thomas, who he's going to catch in the S's here, so that might slow him up a little bit.
And he gets to the outside, so Saketty gets around the lap truck.
It did slow him down just ever so slightly because it was on the exit of the S's there, but he did get around him cleanly.
And while we have you guys, let's go through the top 10. We have Chase Berry obviously leading the race, Cole Saketty is second, Johnny Rapp third, Evan Pienta fourth, Josh Ward fifth, and rounding up the top 10, we have Jeff Pogo, Scott Sopsack, who just received some damage within the last few laps from that incident. Rye Jones, Nick DeCesare, and Matt Kuntz, our top 10. And going back to our Twitch stream, folks, let us know. You guys entertained. What do you guys think of the race so far through 12 laps?
As Chase Berry just crosses the line to take lap 13.
Oh, Saketty! He wheel hopped it, but somehow held on to it. That was nearly a spin there from the 10 machine. As we were saying, you know, Cole Saketty, he's fast, but Tony, he's got to harness some of that talent if he's going to, you know, make it to the end of some of these races.
Well, I think he's also probably trying to make up for all the time he lost when he got stuck behind Evan in that lap truck, and he's probably trying to push a little harder just to close up the gap as much as he can before the pit stop here. But yeah, he's got to keep his tires under him for that to work, and hopefully that was just a one-time incident going into turn 1 there. We'll see if that is the case, as he's about to go through turn 1 again here in about 20 seconds or so. But yeah, Chase Berry is just out in the open, cruising along with this lead here. It's at almost 3 seconds again, so that slip up into turn 1 did cost Saketty quite a bit of time again.
And taking a look at some of the manufacturers in this race, you know, we got some we got mostly Chevrolets, it looks like, you know, occupying the top 10, but we have a Toyota leading the race, and that's Chase Berry.
And Ford in 4th and 6th.
So Josh Ward and Evan Pienta. Whoa, let's see, Scott Sopsack, he had a moment coming out of turn 1. Let's take a look, and that's a good, got a little bit fishtaily there.
Yeah, the tires are definitely starting to show on some of these guys. As we're about
Chase Berry is running into a lot of lap traffic here. He's got to get around Patrick Dobbenberger, who had that epic flip on the first lap. And then Chris Lowry's ahead of him, and Shane Bradshaw, who spun in the opening moments.
Yeah, and they're about 3/4 of the way through a fuel run, so the truck is definitely going to be a lot lighter, and the tires have definitely heated up, and depending on how hard they were pushing, worn out quite a bit. So you're going to see a lot of people probably sliding or pushing through corners that you didn't see earlier in the race. But Chase is out here being as smooth as could be, because he hasn't really had to race anyone since about lap 1, other than getting through traffic with the lappers.
Absolutely. But as you said, this is kind of a long race when you think about the fact that, this track is about 2.454 miles, so about 98 miles in this race, but, we can call this the 100 miler if you really want to be technical. But as you said, there could be, different strategies as Tim Tokarski comes out of pit road, so a lot of guys could short pit. And there's a risk to that. You're going to catch up to the guys on older tires faster. But once those guys are on new tires, it's a completely different story.
Yeah, plus all the time you're going to gain or lose with the new tires, whether you have them or the others have them, if you pit later. Are you going to be able to make that up later in the race, or are you going to lose too much time and probably lose an extra spot? Or if you do pit early, do you gain an extra spot by pitting early than you would pitting at lap 20? It's all gonna come down to what people decide to do here, and we'll see who can take advantage of it.
And if the race were to go green the rest of the way, that strategy would definitely not pan out, unless if you're just a master on old tires.
Yeah, it all depends on how well you do take care of your stuff. As Chase continues to get through lap traffic pretty easily.
He just lapped the 44 of Patrick O'Toole.
Sacchetti
didn't have a great qualifying lap.
But Sacchetti's catching him at the exit of the S's, just like Paul Thomas a couple laps ago. So Sacchetti had it down to about 2.3 seconds, and now it's back to like 2.5 seconds. So he lost about a tenth there or so.
And we have lap trucks battling for position. Looks like Chris Lowry and Patrick Dobbenberger are getting pretty racy as they go through the inner loop.
And they are surrounded by the leaders, so that's going to make everything a little bit more interesting, as Evan Pienta is right behind them.
Meanwhile, Chase, there's been a lot of close calls in this one, but for Chase Berry, he is smelling that clean air.
You see,
he comes off turn 11, and he will lead the 16th lap of this race.
Normally, as a driver,
we have 24 laps to go.
Normally, as a driver, you don't really want to be like bored while you're racing, but on a road course like this, I'm sure Chase is happy with being maybe a little bit bored, not seeing anybody around him, as he's quietly just leading the race and pulling ever so slightly further away from second place.
I mean, as long as you're not flipping over in the first lap like Dobbenberger did, I think you're in good shape. And the next lapper on track, going through the inner loop right now, and that is Trevor Trago. And, Trago's, been pretty competitive on the ovals, but today it looks like he's struggling on the road course.
Yeah, he's got some heavy front end damage, so he must have spun out and hit the wall, or maybe even gotten to the rear of someone on lap 1 going into turn 1. And that's probably definitely hurting him quite a bit on the straightaway.
Absolutely. And we have one truck hitting pit road. It's the 77 of Zachary Doust. He is pitting from 16th position. So some short pitting here at Watkins Glen. And looks like the 22, he's got some serious damage to his machine, that 22. He must have gotten into somebody as well.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of damage on that truck. His right side's caved in pretty heavily too, it looks like.
Definitely. It seems like these drivers are starting to calm down to an extent, so that's good in the racing department.
It looks like Scott Sobczak is closing in on Jeff Pogo for 6th, and the 6th truck of Chris Lowry just spun out in turn 1 and hit the inside wall there, and he's turned around.
Yep. Oh, and Zachary Douse nailed him coming out of pit road.
And Zachary blew his engine.
And his engine just expired.
That is... We will take a quick look at that here.
That is horrifyingly unfortunate. So he's coming out of pit road, and if he blends in too early, he gets a penalty. And if you hit him, well, you get destroyed.
Yeah, I
And he
don't.
tried to do a mixture of both. He tried to get half a penalty and also get minimal damage, but unfortunately, not only did he get a penalty, but he also destroyed his truck.
Yeah, it didn't really look like he had much room to go unless. Yeah, I don't know. Just an unfortunate situation for him as he's sitting in the bus stop blown up. His race is obviously over, and that is a shame for the Zachary Douse here tonight.
So Zachary Doust has been ousted from this event. And yes, pun intended.
And Scott Sobczak is now all over.
Patrick O'Toole and Rye Jones are on pit
now
road.
all over the 43 of Jeff Pogo.
And Taryn Modicurdy has been sitting on pit road for quite some time. He has currently scored 7 laps down, so I think it's fair to say the 18's done today. If not, for right now. I'm not sure what he's doing. Maybe he's fixing some damage, but I didn't think he hit the inside wall too hard. But any aerodynamic damage at this racetrack, like you said, will hurt you on the straightaway.
Most definitely. Unless you're Scott Sobczak, apparently, who is running back down people as he's trying to make that pass on Jeff Pogo for 6th as we're coming up to pit stops here pretty soon.
Whoa! And Scott Sobczak got into the back of Jeff Pogo, and Pogo saved it. And it looks like Scott Sobczak, to be a good soldier, he's going to allow Pogo to keep that position out of courtesy. Yeah. I'm not listening to their audio, but it looks like Pogo and Sobczak are talking back and forth as we speak. And it looks like Pogo is now hitting pit road, along with a couple other guys, including Evan Pienza's on pit road. Zachary Doust is back on pit road. I'm not sure how that happened.
Johnny Rapp is also on pit road.
I'm guessing because he had stopped in the inner loop for quite some time. I'm guessing maybe he
probably towed.
Towed already? I don't think he towed that fast. What happened?
The 77? Well, he blew up, so he had to tow.
He blew up, but he literally was just rolling down pit road.
And the 42 spins out, entering pit road. Let me see if I can find him. He is currently stuck at the pit entrance. He is blocking pit lane. Yeah, that's it looks like he's towing as well. So he got himself out of the way. But yeah, that sucks for him because it's gonna be like a 2-minute tow just even from pit entrance to his pit stall. So that's gonna really hurt his race there. And the leaders are now entering pit road themselves, so it's a good thing for them that the 42 get out of the way. But Chase Berry and Kosaketi are both on pit road, and we'll see if Josh Ward joins them here in a minute. And he does, so the top 3 are going down pit road. Scott Sobczak looks like he's staying out for an extra lap. So Scott Sobczak is your new leader here as he goes through turn 1 as Chase Berry, Kosaketi, Josh Ward are all on pit road. Nick DeCesare is also
Shane
staying
Bradshaw.
out.
Shane Bradshaw goes around off coming through turn 11, and he gets into the outside guardrail.
He does make it down pit road though. Chase Berry is coming off pit road, followed by Saketi and Josh Ward.
Nathan Rogie didn't get around, so Zucchetti there, so Zucchetti is going to go around. But right now, Nathan Rogie is scored our first truck a lap down in 17th position.
And the leader of Scott Sobczak is just exiting the carousel. He has a 7.7 second lead over second place Nick DeCesare, and then Chase Berry is in third now. So the top 2 have to pit yet, and then it looks like everyone will have cycled through except for maybe Patrick Colby. I'm not sure if he pit yet. I don't know. He has not pit yet. So Scott Sobczak is coming down pit road.
Oh, trouble. George Fetzko goes around coming out of turn 1 and inside. He hits the inside guardrail, and that continues his bad luck today.
That is. And Nick DeCesare in second place is also coming down pit road. Yeah, turn 1 has seemed to be quite a trouble spot for a lot of people. Chase Berry will resume the lead here going down the front stretch as both Sobczak and DeCesare are on pit road.
And trouble. Looks like someone may not have any power on the backstretch. It's Brady Powers. And I think his engine blew up.
Yep, it looks like he just towed. He is on pit road already, so he looks like he
So
towed.
he had just passed George Fetzko after that spin, and looks like he's under power going through the S's. But something happens to that 22, and it looks like right there you saw a slight vibration, and boom, there goes the motor. His day is over.
And currently, Chase Berry has a 1.7 second lead over Cole Sacchetti, which is about 6/10 smaller than what it was entering the pits. So Sacchetti made up a lot of time on entering and exiting pit road through this pit cycle. So he might have a shot here if he can keep his tires on him over the long run the rest of the way.
And so, taking a look at our trucks behind the wall, Jay Heishman, Terry Modicurti, Zachary Doust, Brady Powers, and here comes George Fetzko coming onto pit road.
And that the lap truck of Bradshaw did hurt Chase Berry going through those last set of corners, as the lead is now down to 9/10 of a second. So he lost almost a second trying to get around the 88 there. So Cole Sacchetti is really gaining a lot of ground here in these last couple laps.
And meanwhile, Johnny Rapp, our points leader, he's just hanging out in third, just lurking behind this battle for the lead between Chase Berry and Cole Sacchetti as they come through the inner loop. But we'll see if Cole can harness some of that talent and perhaps get around that 5 truck, because it, as we said early in the race, Sacchetti's shown that he can be fast, but at some points when it's required he exemplifies some form of control, he can get a little wild.
He's down to half a second now behind the leader as they come through the final set of corners on lap 23.
Here's Tim Tokarski, lap truck. He might... he'll probably pull over for these guys, but you never know. We're getting into turn 1. It's kind of a narrow area. We'll see if he gets out of their way. And it doesn't look like he will right this moment. And now he will. So, aside goes Tokarski, and Chase Berry and Cole Sacchetti both get around him.
Yeah, Cole is still gaining on Chase here. Down to 3.5 tenths coming down the backstretch. Cole is also a lot more aggressive on the curbs through the bus stop than Chase is. So that's also gaining him quite a bit of time, as he's down to just about 2 3/4 tenths.
And let's see what Sacchetti has in turn 10. Turn 11, where you can set up a lot of guys. Here comes Sacchetti. He's taking a look. He has an opportunity here as they cross the start-finish line to complete the 24th lap of this race. Let's see if Sacchetti makes a move in turn 1. He's all over his bumper. I guess right now, Sacchetti is who you would describe as a stalker. Constant pressure. Reminding Chase Berry that he's there, and he will always be there as they come through the S's.
He still has quite a bit of gap, though, so I don't think he's going to try to push anything right now. I think he's still trying to reel him in a little bit more.
Yeah, it looks like Berry got through turns 1 and 2 better than Sacchetti, and that's what provided the gap. But as you said, he's really aggressive around these curbs. Let's see what he has. Right now, it looks like it's follow the leader.
But they are all over each other, and they have a 6-second gap between, 5.5 second gap between second place and third place. So they don't have to push it too hard right now because they're not being caught by anybody else. Yeah, they are definitely making each other earn their position here, as Chase takes a shallower entry to try to block a outbreaking attempt by Sacchetti, who does go wider.
The discipline it takes to race around this to race around this facility, Tony.
Yeah, you definitely you need to hit your marks every chance, especially when you have someone all over you. And it's down to just under
Oh, and
0.2 of a second gap now.
Chase Berry got the curve there, but looks like Sacchetti wasn't exactly expecting it either. So Chase Berry maintains the lead, but that was a close moment. And here they come towards turn 10. But once again, Chase Berry keeps the lead.
And when they hit the line, it'll be 14 laps to go, so there is still plenty of time. So again, there's no sense in rushing anything if you are Cole. Just hit your marks and stay as close as you can, and maybe eventually Chase will make a mistake and you can capitalize on it. As he looks to maybe get a little slick through turns 1 there, but he does keep the lead by a decent amount.
Constant pressure. You go back to the 2007 Centurion Boats, the Glen Cup race. Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon battling for the lead, and just with a handful of laps to go, Stewart continued to pressure Gordon, and Gordon spun out. Wheel hopped into one, gave Stewart the win. So maybe that's what Cole Sacchetti is trying to emulate.
He's got, like I said, he's got plenty of laps to have something like that happen here. He does lose a little bit of ground there.
Plenty of laps, but also plenty of lap traffic. But George Fetzko is going to be a good soldier and move out of the way. That's one less lap truck, and ahead of them is the 44th Patrick O'Toole.
And we would go throughout the field to a few different spots, but there's not really too much battling going on, and this is for the lead as Sacchetti pulls up really tight on him, exiting the final corner, coming to the line to take 13 to go here. We're starting lap 28.
And it looks like Barry, he got into the corner deeper than Sacchetti there. And he was able to get off the turn 1 corner. And now he's heading towards he's in the S's now. Sacchetti really gains a lot of ground going into the S's, but Barry gets a little loose, and Sacchetti, he overcorrects as well as they pass the slow truck of Patrick O'Toole going into the inner loop. So both of them made mistakes there. But the other didn't capitalize. In fact, he made his own mistake.
And that's the other thing with road courses. You can enter a corner deeper to maybe make a pass and help you out there, but usually you want to kind of like back your corner up so you can get a launch off the exit a lot better. So we'll see how those games play out here through the rest of the race too, as they continue to try to determine who should win the race here. As Sacchetti makes a move to the inside of the last corner here.
And looks like he lost the rear tires, and Chase Berry is going to hold on to the spot.
That's exactly what I was just talking about. He went to go in deeper into the corner to try to make the pass, but he wasn't able to exit the corner as well as he would have liked. And Chase was able to, so he was able to keep the lead there coming out of the last set of corners.
And not only that, he was also able to gap him a little bit, coming through the part of the track where Sacchetti is the most successful.
But he's still within 2.5 tenths, so he did lose some time, but he didn't lose a ton of time, and he's still right there with 12 laps to go.
And Sacchetti got into the inner loop a little bit wide, and he lost some ground coming out of the carousel.
Yeah, it looked like his rear end hung out a little bit exiting the bus stop there. This might be the point where his tires start to go on him, so I think that might have been why he was so aggressive last lap to try to make the pass, and now he's trying to just do everything he can to keep up with him and not spin out here.
And Shane Bradshaw got really wide in turn 1. No spin. He continues. The 88 is still 18th on the track.
Yeah, if I'm Cole, I just want to try to keep the gap where it is right now and cool my tires off for the next about 3 laps, and then try to make a run at him again with about 6 or 7 laps to go.
With 11 laps to go, Sacchetti still has time. But at what point do you think he'll start to run out of time? Do you think, how many laps would you say, if you were in the 10 truck, how many laps do you think you should wait?
Well, that depends on whether or not he wants to, if he's willing to use his bumper to make the pass or not. If he's not willing to use his bumper, I'd say with 5 laps to go, he's going to have to definitely be starting to make the effort to get around him.
And the 6 truck of Chris Lowry was in no man's land. But it looks like he was just getting out of the way for the leader. So good move on the 6 as the leaders continue to battle it out here.
Pole goes really wide through turn 9. Looks like Chase got a little loose through the last corner, so just ever so slightly it looked like his left rear was hanging out there, but he hangs onto the lead as they go into turn 1.
And they will approach the 42 of Paul Thomas, who just came through the S's.
Oh, Cole
And
got
Thomas,
really
he's had an eventful day.
really wide through the S's there and lost quite a bit of ground.
Yep. And Paul has had an eventful day. Got back early and then spun and got stuck in front of the pit road entrance and had to tow. So that 42 is currently running 20th, 3 laps down.
And about everything Cole lost in the S's, he made back up in the bus stop. So he's back down to 3.5 tenths or so behind the leader.
And the 6 of Chris Lowry had a moment. He got out of the way for Johnny Rapp and then nearly got himself in the wall, got in the grass coming out of the bus stop.
Oh, and
Cole Sacchetti.
he gets in a little too hot into the last corner, got sideways. He didn't spin it, and he hasn't lost too much ground, but he did lose about half a second there. So, and his rear tires are going to be really mad at him for the last little bit here as we are 9 to go now.
No doubt about that. And considering there are no cautions in this race, only, I guess, local yellows, but not even that. We haven't seen a single yellow despite, you know, we saw a truck flip over in the first lap, but there was no yellow. But here it's just racing to the end. So looks like Cole Sacchetti's going to be probably kind of hitting himself in the back of the head, you know, after losing it there off the corner.
We do have a little bit of a battle starting between, for 10th place here, between Rhett Tucker and Nick DeCesare. It's probably the closest battle we have right now. Oh, and Rhett Tucker almost spins out coming out of turn 1, and DeCesare is all over him going up into the S's.
And the 43 of Jeff Pogo had a moment going through the carousel, got loose, and Tim Tokarski looks like he kind of got scared and nearly lost it trying to get out of his way. So Jeff Pogo, he's currently running in the 6th position. And let's talk to our Twitch folks here, Tony. What are some of the questions we're hearing?
There hasn't really been any chat here tonight.
Well, hey, at least we're putting on a show.
Dude, the drivers out there are doing a hell of a job out there tonight, and Nick DeCesare kind of had to take evasive action there and almost took out the 99 of Rhett Tucker for 10th coming through turn 9. He lost a bit of ground there, unfortunately for him, but they're still all over each other for the most part.
And Cole Sacchetti had to split the 42 and the 88 free wide after Shane Bradshaw blew the corner. So he had to split those guys 3 wide and lost some more ground to our leader, Chase Berry.
He's 2 seconds behind the leader right now.
And Ellis Thomas just came through. He seems like he's off the pace here, Tony.
His right side's caved in, so he must have gotten into an accident or got part of the wall at some point, unfortunately. And he will be the next truck that's going to lose a lap to Chase Berry if Chase is able to catch him before The race is over here in 7 laps. We got 7 laps to go. And Chase is still hanging on to right about a 2-second lead over Kolsaketty in second. Johnny Rapp is in third. Evan Pienta is in fourth, and Josh Ward rounds out your top 5. As Josh is also about 20 seconds behind the leader. So that's the gap between first and fifth, is about just over 20 seconds.
So it has been a one-sided race in favor of Chase Berry, who I believe has led every lap in this race, except during green flag, during green flag pit stops.
Yeah,
Other than that,
Scott Sobczak led at least 1 lap, if not 2. But yeah, otherwise it's been all Chase Berry tonight.
and all Chase Berry otherwise. Do you think? I mean, anything can happen. Do you think Kolsaketty still stands a chance in this race?
Well, he is reeling Chase in a little bit again here, but I think it's too little too late, unfortunately, for Cole. When he
Let's take a look at the lap times. So 1 minute 15 seconds and 85, and it looks like Sacchetti he actually ran a faster lap that time. He ran a 1:15.77. So perhaps he has a second wind coming here, Tony.
Yeah, but he's got to make up 1.8 seconds in 6 laps here, and if he keeps at that pace, he's not going to be able to do it. Unfortunately.
Maybe do a Chastain. Just blow the inner loop. I just pray that Scott Tompkins doesn't see it, and maybe that could do it.
I think iRacing automatically black flags you for that, unfortunately. For him.
You know what? Yeah, I was just making a suggestion.
Well,
It seems like the iRacing robots will usually win the battle of legality.
yeah, I don't think lap traffic is going to come into play either anymore, even though there are a couple trucks coming up for Chase. I just don't know if he'll catch them before the end of the race, and they're spread apart quite a bit, so they might, even if he does catch them, he'd probably be able to get around them really quickly.
And 5 laps to go. Chase Berry continues to lead. Let's go through the top 10 while we have nothing to do. Chase Berry leading the race. Kolsaketty second. He is currently trailing by about 1.5 seconds. Johnny Rapper, points leader's third, just lurking. Our Matt Kenseth twin is hanging out there. Evan Pienta in fourth. Josh Ward fifth.
And Ward has caught Pienta, so sorry to cut you off there, but he is on his bumper now.
That's good. Well, we have at least we have a battle brewing.
And it looks like Pienta got some more damage because his hood is poking up on the left side, it looks like, and he's still hanging it out there through the corners. So we'll see if his tires give way on him before this is over. As again, Ward is closing the gap here for 4th place.
I think that was pre-existing damage from earlier. I forget off the top of my head who he ran into, but he got some front end damage from it. But it hasn't affected him too bad because he's still hanging in the top 5. As both Pienta and Ward get around the lap truck of Shane Bradshaw.
And Ward needs every spot he can get because he is second place in points, but Johnny Rapp is the points leader, and he's 2 spots ahead of him, so he wants to at least pass Pienta here so he can have 1 less point loss to Rapp after this.
Don't look back, but Sacchetti is closing in on our leader.
It is down to 0.8 of a second as we are on 3.5 laps to go.
So Sacchetti, as he said, he is really ripping it through these curbs. And maybe Chase Berry overshot his tires, but does Sacchetti have enough?
The gap is still closing.
And we have a lap truck, Tim Tokarski. Let's take a look at the lap times at the line as both drivers come off turn 11. We'll have 3 laps to go, and Sacchetti had a bad run off the corner. That's not going to help. So Chase Berry, and somehow Cole Sacchetti was still faster despite getting loose off the corner.
And Patrick
So
Colby
let's see
spins
what
in turn
happens.
1 as the leaders go by him.
And who spun? Because
Patrick Colby, the
Patrick
9
Colby
truck.
didn't even see him go around. Oh,
But-
yep. Now I see him.
But it's down to 5.5 tenths between the leaders, which is about 2.5 tenths closer than what it was last lap. And they're coming through the bus stop. Yeah, that's
So-
definitely where Sacchetti makes up the majority of the time.
Still some foreshadowing here, Tony, but coming down to the last lap, Cole Sacchetti is one of our most aggressive drivers on the circuit. You know, will we see him make some Daredevil, Ross Chastain, Rusty Wallace type move here?
I'm pretty sure if he has a chance to do something, he's going to do it to try to get the win. I don't think... I'm not sure because this is only the third race I've seen of his. I'm not sure he'll try to give him the bumper though, so I don't think that's going to come into play. But I do think he'll definitely, if he has a shot, throw it in there and try to make something happen.
Both drivers were slower that lap, but just like the previous 5 laps, Cole Sacchetti was the fastest. As they come through the S's with 2 laps remaining here in the Sim Racing Tech Grand Prix of Watkins Glen.
Yeah, Sacchetti went a little wide at the exit of the S's there, but it's down to 3 tenths, and this is coming up to the bus stop where he makes up the majority of his time, so we'll see how close he can get here.
He went wide coming off that corner, but I think it actually helped him, Tony.
Yeah, it definitely helped his tires, I'm sure, because he wasn't having to push to hold it down there. And it is about 3.7 seconds, or 3.7 tenths here coming into the last set of corners.
And this is the penultimate lap here at Watkins Glen. Will it be Chase Berry in his Toyota Tundra or Cole Sacchetti in his Wendy's-sponsored Chevrolet Silverado? White flag is out, 1 lap to go. As they pass the lap truck of Patrick O'Toole, they go into turn 1 for the final time.
Cole
Now
gets
here's
it.
the true test. We go through the S's, turns 3, 4, and 5. Let's see what Sacchetti has. Looks like Berry gapped him a little bit as they come down the back straightaway.
Yeah, it looked like Cole got into turn 1 a lot harder than Chase did, and Chase was able to get out of it better. But here they come up to the bus stop, and they're going to catch a lap truck coming through the carousel as well. So we'll see what happens here.
And Fensko has been good for the most part in getting out of the way of the leaders. And he does once again as they come out of the carousel towards turn 10.
Last set of corners here for Cole. If he can do anything, this is where it's going to have to be.
And here they come through turn 10 and through the right-hander in turn 11. Cole Sacchetti makes a last dash effort. It's not going to be enough. As they come down the front straightaway, Chase Berry will win the Sim Racing Tech Grand Prix of Watkins Glen.
Cole Sacchetti with a very close second place, and it looks like Johnny Rapp will come home in third.
And our points leader, Johnny Rapp, once again, just lurking. He's just there. It's kind of like He's kind of like Michael Myers. You just can't get rid of him. He's always there.
And Evan Pienta looks like he's going to take home 4th, and 5th will be rounded out by Josh Ward.
And so Chase Berry gets the win, and that's big for the 5. He probably should have won at the Milwaukee Mile. I'm sure he's happy that he's got that W.
At New
Here
Hampshire.
comes Cole Sacchetti. He gets into his back bumper, and a little token of appreciation. Congratulations, way to go.
All right, so that was your Sim Racing Tech Grand Prix of Watkins Glen tonight, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We will take care of the top 3 interviews here in just a moment.
And Cole Sacchetti doing a Dale Earnhardt, giving him a little victory slam. So Chase Berry wins the race. Cole Sacchetti, a good rebound from Iowa Speedway, comes home second. Johnny Rapp third. Evan Pienta fourth. Josh Ward comes home fifth. And rounding out the rest of the top 10, we have Jeff Pogo, Ryan Jones, Scott Sobsack, a nice rebound from 2 weeks ago. Matt Kuntz, and Nick DeCesare gets his first top 10 of the season. Tony?
We will be bringing up Johnny Rapp here, your third place finisher, in just a moment. You want to take him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Johnny Rapp, third place finisher. You're in the booth.
Johnny Rapp, our points leader. Good run today. You were just, lurking. It was a fun ride. It looks like you just cruised for most of the race. And tell us what you saw out there.
I don't know. This is your average road course race, right? I mean, it's spread out, and it's all about who can drive the fastest and not cook their tires doing it.
Did you have any fun out there, or were you yawning a little bit since you spent most of the race in third?
It's fun to drive because they get a little loose. So even running by yourself is fun for me, but I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely sweating, and congratulations to Face there. Good to see him finally get a points win.
And it takes a lot of discipline, to drive the way that you do. Kind of like Matt Kenseth, you may not win every race, but you can almost guarantee 100% that you're going to be in the conversation, or be in the top 4, top 5, top 6, whatever it may be. What do you do outside of the sim racing world that helps you prepare for these races?
Well, today I slept for about 4 hours before the race started instead of practicing. But I don't know. I don't really do much. I do a lot of this racing. I think I'm involved in like 3 or 4 leagues right now. 2 nights a week is this league, so that tells you right there.
Johnny, you must have been fun in high school. So you're the guy that doesn't study for the test. This guy studies for the test. Hey, Joe, what'd you get? I got a 46, and I studied for this test. And here's Johnny Rapp. I didn't even study, and I got a 97. What the heck?
There was a lot of that. I don't know. Maybe I should start applying myself a little more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you barbecued them in high school, and you've done a barbecue job on them today. Mission Barbecue being your sponsor. Thank you again, and quite the finish, and congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
Have a good one, Johnny.
You too.
Cole Skitty, you're in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Pretty good. How about you? You got... I'd say you're doing pretty good, right? You got second. You were so close there at the end. Was there anything else you could have done to maybe get the win tonight? And at least, this is your third race this season, right? The first one, you didn't have something like bad luck happen, right?
Yeah, this was my third race. I mean, I've raced with these guys a couple seasons ago, but my buddy Chris Lowry, he's been trying to get into league racing, so figured this was a good start for him, to get in here. But yeah, I mean, the only thing I probably could have done different is as soon as we came out of pit road, I just started pushing hard as anything. I mean, I was running close to qualifying times trying to catch Chase there, and I knew it was going to pay dividends at the end of the race where I was just going to be slipping and sliding everywhere. But I gave it my best effort. I mean, honestly, Chase was so fast tonight. Hats off to him. I feel like the only thing I could have done differently was probably moving, but I haven't raced with some of these guys in this league before, so just want to earn the respect with everyone there, and just definitely wanted to race Chase clean there.
Well, you definitely put on a hell of a show, especially at the end there with being able to close the gap, and then you lost quite a bit of time with that one side, and then you closed it back up again, and you were right there at the end. Definitely had a good run, got second. Next week we're at Atlanta. Is there any expectations for that, or? And I believe it is Old Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, I hope to do all right there. I mean, these trucks, for some reason, I race in trucks in another league on Tuesday nights, and some tracks that were a little bit easier to pass on before, a little hard to pass on now. So I'm hoping Old Atlanta, they didn't change anything in iRacing to where it's as hard to pass as you would think. But Hopefully good expectations there. Just need to save my tires like I usually do, and hopefully be there at the end.
All right, you got
And
set.
also, thank God that you guys are racing on the old surface next week because that new track, no,
Oh
no.
yeah, I've raced there like 2 or 3 times, honestly, in fixed races, and it is the worst thing ever. I mean, honestly, I'm a huge Kevin Harvick fan, as you guys can tell by my Discord picture. But anyway, old Atlanta was like bread and butter for me because it was all about saving tires, and Kevin was the same way, and I learned how to drive that way from him pretty much with old Atlanta. So we'll see what happens. I know there's some discrepancies about the new Atlanta, but yeah, we'll hopefully put on a good show next week.
Is there anyone you'd like to shout out or thank before you head out here tonight?
Yeah, just want to shout out my buddy Chris there. I know he finished in the back. It was his first road course race in a league. He hangs out with me almost every night on iRace, and so huge shout out to him, and he's the reason why I jumped back into here. Huge shout out to Ellis and everyone here at SSRL. Thanks for always putting on a good show. You guys do a great job here in the booth as well. And yeah, huge shout out to my girlfriend as well for putting up with me every night. So
All right, well, again, congrats on second place, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again next week.
yep, cheers, boys. Thanks.
Have a good
You're
one.
welcome. Have a great night.
You too.
You want to take Chase?
All right. Yeah, absolutely.
Chase Berry, you're in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah.
Chase Berry, welcome to Victory Lane.
I know.
Congratulations, and out. You did like 5 different celebrations there. You had the burnout with Johnny Rapp. You had a date with the outside wall. You went backwards, went in reverse. You did a little Kurt Busch celly there. Man, you're happy to win this race. I can see.
Yeah, it's my first actual officially slingshot win. Like I haven't won before. I mean, I've obviously won the money because I show up and the money counts. So shit. But nah. But this is like my first actual like legit win, and so it's kind of nice. And usually like I like to do reverse laps whenever I win. So that's why it might be the only time you see it all year because my best shot was a road course. But yeah, I'm excited. Talking too dang much. Sweating.
Your mic is a little bit low, but I think I got most of that. Um,
Hold on. Let me.
I know that
Is that
it's
better?
honestly surprising that
Yep.
this is your first win in this series because we saw just how much you dominated at the Milwaukee Mile, and unfortunately, you got spun out there late. How cool is it to finally get that monkey on your back and get in victory circle?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me a lot better or louder. I pulled
you're
the mic
better.
out a little. All right, sweet, even better. So I don't know. Yeah, the New Hampshire thing, I'm still kind of salty about that, but whatever. It's been the past. Anyway, but yeah, like it's nice to actually win because I mean we're letting Johnny just pull away from the points, and I'm like I have had a horrible the first couple races, like it was like 33rd, and then that's like 17th or whatever after New Hampshire, and then another 30th. Like it was horrible. Then once we get the drop week finally counted in, like it boosted me back up to actually have a shot at Johnny. So I feel better back in it, especially getting the points for leading the most laps and the pole. So I'm trying to make up ground on him because he's the person to beat this year. Like he's just on it every week. Oval, road course, dirt, it don't matter. He's top 5 every week, so it's hard to beat him.
I mean, if there's anything that you can do to beat Johnny, well, how do you beat Johnny? Is basically my question. Do you think it's gonna have to be some bad luck, or a combination of beating him on the racetrack? What do you think?
Oh, probably complain a little bit. He runs in our Discord server with us, so like he's kind of a teammate, whatever. But that or just yell his name Johnny, 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 and usually Rex during or talk to him during qualifying, he'll mess up. Just the old strategies throughout the book.
So
We'll
just
have to
some
come up
mind
with some.
games.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I'm really good with those with him. So we'll have to. It depends on if it comes down to I don't even know what the last track is. Homestead. Oh, that sucked there. But yeah, we'll definitely play some mind games if it comes down to it. I mean, we'll abracadabra alakazam if we have to.
Well, do you have anyone special to shout out after this win?
Yeah. I mean, you guys for putting it on. I know Tony wants to run, but he's over here broadcasting, so I appreciate him, and you Ryan too. Um, uh, definitely Johnny, Ryan, everybody who puts this on, and also Cole. Cole ran really awesome in didn't wreck us both, and like he raced me really clean, and I was appreciative of that. So that's about it. And yeah,
You know, Tony, maybe we should, get back behind the wheel of our trucks and broadcast and race at the same time. But I don't think Ellis would be on board with that.
It might be a
I
little
say,
difficult.
I said, what's he gonna do? Drive to you? Absolutely not.
Just you gotta wait till we lap him. Is that what you're saying? Or
He's just scared you're gonna lap him because he's slow.
well,
Well, man, congratulations on your win. It was a pleasure to watch, and at such a legendary facility that I wish had multiple races a year. But Watkins Glen is
It
a
does if you go.
historical track.
It does if you got the 6 hour and you got NASCAR. Just kidding.
Yeah, that too.
well, speaking of, are you one of them that thinks you should be running the boot? Because I think you guys should be running the boot.
Ooh, I think I don't know. Yes, because it's a different challenge. Like not everybody runs the boot. I think everybody. I mean, everybody knows the regular Watkins, but the boot. Yeah. I say go for it. I mean, I like the Roval, so I'm one of those weird cats.
Oh, I can't agree with you there. Sorry.
The new Roval, not the bus stop Roval. The actual cane Roval. Oh, I love that place. So yeah, I'm sure. I'm down with whatever.
Well, maybe we'll talk Ellis into doing that next time or something.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
not nervous.
again, congrats on your win. Hopefully, we'll be seeing you up here again next week at Atlanta. Hope you have a good one.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. You'll probably see me top 5, top 10. I lied. We'll see.
Yeah, you
All
gotta
right,
go
we'll
get those
see you, man.
points somehow.
All right.
Peace.
Deuces.
All right, guys. Well, that was quite the electrifying end to a great race here at Watkins Glen International. Tony, final thoughts?
That race definitely went. It was a lot more competitive, especially at the end, than what I was expecting. It was definitely a really good race. I was expecting that, but it was a lot better, like I said, than I expected. And these guys definitely put on a great show. And I expected more of the same next week at Atlanta, where they're going to be slipping and sliding as they try to pass each other and run fast.
I think that Atlanta, we're going to see a lot of wrecks at Atlanta, but we're going to get a mix of a high caution race, but also fantastic racing, and you don't see that very often. But I think we're going to be in for a treat come next week. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ryan O'Hara, along with Tony Hilbrand. Chase Berry is your winner here today at Watkins Glen International in the Sim Racing Tech Grand Prix of Watkins Glen. I'm Ryan O'Hara alongside Tony Hilbrand. Have a great night.
Have a good one, everybody.